Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Logline Lab, the place where we talk, look at our notes, scribble down ideas, and hopefully come up with a good story to turn into a logline at some point. The candle is back. If you've noticed, it is back. I'll put it here, right out of frame. Right here, it might be too distracting. I don't know. So my pen is back. The paper is back. I hope you've been enjoying the last podcast, the last episode, with the 5 log lines per title. That was a lot of fun. All right, let's get on to 2 brand new log lines today. So, I wanted to do a rom com today, and for the second one, I had like an idea for a crime thriller type thing. So that'll be our 2 ideas today, 2 genres today to work on. Let's go right on. And rom com. So, I had another one. Food based, like restaurant based. No, not restaurant based. Let's do food based. Um, Something about the kitchen. It's a lovely place to fall in love, I suppose. All right, so let's do this. Let's make it a chef, a male chef. Sure, a hetero couple. Uh, why not? You know what? Next time I'll think up I'll think up some more LGBT ideas because this one feels to me like it's a hetero couple. Not that it matters. Well, I do like diversity. Anyway, I'm rambling. So let's do it. He's a chef, and um, she's a CEO of a company, right? And so let's do. She finds, okay. I don't know why. She find like her grandfather. Her grandfather's been dead for a long time. Let's say. But they finally go through his stuff. Some part of the family, maybe like a sister. The sister was the oldest one, and she was the one who is responsible enough with family stuff, to go through people's stuff. But she was busy in life, and she's finally, after years, has gotten around to more of his boxes and has cleaned them up. And so she's found a cookbook, an unfinished cookbook that he's been working on, that he had been working on. And okay, cookbook story. And so she gives it to her sister because well, okay, so the her sister's that our main one of my main characters is the CEO of a publishing company. And so the sister says, "Hey, look, I just found the grandfather's unfinished cookbook. In case you want to do something about it, you're the one who works in the book world." And of course, they're family people, they're proud people, and I'm thinking like I don't want to say Puerto Rican, Colombian. Thinking Colombian or Cuban, maybe Cuban. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe the Cuban. I don't know. Maybe that's not important. That's just important for me to dream about in my head right now. All right. So let's say they're Cuban, and so the sister, looks at the cookbook and she's like, "Yeah, why not? I can just publish this as my grandfather's legacy, or um, finish it, but it's unfinished, so she needs to finish it. So she looks for a cook or a chef, and that's how they meet. That's how they come together. This chef and her. So she basically asks him, because he's Cuban as well. So she asks him, since he's Cuban, to help her finish this cookbook so she can publish it, and he agrees because let's give him a motivation. It turns out that he has also been in this phase of life where he's trying to um, reconnect with his roots, right? So maybe he's like, he's done the DNA test, he's done this, he's done that, but he doesn't truly feel connected with information. What he needs to do is get into action, actively reconnect to the roots. And since he's a chef, here's his opportunity. And since this book is also from a Cuban background, here's his opportunity to reconnect. So there's his motivation. So now he says, yes, absolutely, this is perfect for what I've been wanting to do. I accept. Um, Let me move this just a bit. I hope that doesn't mess with the sound too much. That only makes it better. So he accepts. Let's do it. Let's reconnect. And of course, in the process, they fall in love. Maybe they take a few trips. Maybe she's like, well, um, to help you, I'll book you. You and I will go to Cuba and um, revisit our roots and try some cuisine over there, and then maybe it'll help you. If it'll help you, let's do it. And of course, he says yes. What a great opportunity. Um, so they go together, and of course, in the process, they fall in love. And now we need to give them. So they fall in love, and um, everything's great. Of course, they're in their honeymoon phase of the love. Um, and she provides everything he needs to get this cookbook going, and he does. And then maybe in the process, he realizes that since he's reconnecting to the roots, he's realizing that he wants this book to be authentic. Yeah, like an authentic culinary experience. And and then she asks him, okay, but could you also put like could you put um alternate ingredients if people don't have this specific ingredient from Cuba, or could you put like alternate options for people to do that? Like that, it'll be more commercial. It'll be more palatable or digestive. Huh? I'm using food, food words. This is when I know I'm in the zone. Um, it'll be more commercial, more acceptable for people to know what to do, because these specific ingredients that you're putting in the cookbook are really very Cuban, and it's not likely that they'll find a store with these exact ingredients, because that's how authentic he wanted to go with it. And that maybe that's the conflict. That's the source of their disagreement, is that he's like, no, I don't. I want this to be authentic. And she goes, I'm the CEO of a publishing company. I think I know what will sell and what will help best. And I'm telling you, make it more commercial. Do this. And maybe that's, yeah, this huge disagreement of like, he really doesn't want to do it. And she like gets so pissed that maybe she threatens to fire him. And she does. And maybe in their agreement, it says that if in their contract, there was a clause that says, well, if you walk out of here, I get to keep all of the work that you've already done for it, which really pisses him off. And he definitely, wants to leave and not talk to her again. And so, of course, one of them will have to come back and apologize and make good so that their love story ends on a positive note, because that's what we want out of rom-coms. We get everything else in real life. Can we just have happy endings in our movies, please? Um, Haha. Um, all right. That's a story, right? Yeah, it's a cute, like, food, Cuban, let's fall in love type of thing. And then we don't agree on the final product, so if we don't agree on this, we definitely can't be lovers. But we want them. Okay, cool. All right, nice. So that's the rom com. That was nice. Um, don't know what I'll call it. The Cuban. I don't even know if I'll mention it. The Cuban thing. Because there could be so many things. Anyway, let's move on. Um, we have a thriller. Okay, let's do thriller now. Let me just write some notes down for the previous idea. No title. Okay. Thriller, crime. Okay, okay. So I wanted to try my hand at like let's do these twists and turns and twists and turns and reveals. Twist, reveal, twist, reveal, twist, reveal type of like never ending. Oh, that's more like a murder mystery, isn't it? No, crime thriller works. So, I know. Well, this is what it's like in my head, just mumbling and rumbling let me write that down. So, all right. I think let's open with what's a strong open? Let's open with um there's a family. I know this idea has been done and it's been done really well, but I want to I want to do it. I want to do a story that revolves around this too, but I'll put my own spin on it, and you'll see what I mean at the end. So, how do I get there? Is what I need to do. So our big open is a family receives a box, mail box, yeah, a piece of mail. Oh, what do you call package? Package. A family receives a package. They open the package and they're human body parts. Right. Let's start strong. And of course, they involve the police. They'll let them know. They get a few of these packages after a week or two, and so the police takes it and uh, they try to identify the bodies. Yeah, okay. So with these different packages that come over time, uh, the police is able to identify the body parts. Is that even possible? I guess I'll have to do research, but let's go with this, and I'll fix it later. Actually, I wouldn't write this, so whoever wants to pick it up can make it up themselves, can research themselves. Um, so the police identify the people, the body, who the people were from the corpse, the body parts, and they put together that um, the people whose body parts there are were recent, like people that they've been looking for, of course, that they've been missing, and they've been suspect to have been murdered, but they had no body, and now they have body parts, so now they know, at the very least, they're not okay. Um, but they sort of like, I guess they put it together to who they think it might be. Um, and they decide like maybe it's the same person. All these bodies, they conclude that these different people, body parts that are coming to this one family, are from the same killer. That would be a great assumption. No one's gonna dispute that. But then they're like, no one's understanding why this family. How does this link to you? And of course, the family's like, well, we don't know. We're definitely not friends, or we don't think we are involved in this. We're not friends with killers, and they're pranking us, type of thing. So, but one of the family members starts to suspect that they know what's going on here, and then the police, they say something to the police, and so then the police uh, do some research, and they realize that this specific family um, has a cold case that they're involved with, and of course this police team didn't know, because the the police team that was on their case 35 years ago, let's say, okay, 35 years ago, um, they retired by now, so they didn't know right away. They're only coming to it now, and so they're like, oh, could that possibly be linked? And so the family is very curious, and so they do their own sort of research, um, and one day in their research, one of their family members who's suspicious, maybe an aunt or something, or an uncle, um, some family member. Yeah, I don't know how they get there, but anyway, the point is, they put two and two together. Um, that sorry, I don't know how to make this happen. Um, maybe the killer comes for yeah, the killer comes forward. Okay, okay, yeah. Maybe the killer one day comes forward to their house like mysteriously, like creepily in a creepy way, and ambushes them or catches them off guard and by themselves. And he goes, "Are you? Did you guys like my packages?" And of course they're confused. And he's like, "Are you proud of my work?" And they're very like, "What is this serial killer, full psychopathic person? Even like, what is this about?" And um, it turns out that uh, the people who the this killer who um, sent them the packages is their son. And so the cold case that they had a long time ago, the case that they had a long time ago, was that one of their sons was kidnapped, and they never found them again. And this is him, and he's obviously now a serial killer. And um, and the reason why he's resurfaced now is because 35 or something, some idea, 35 years ago, he was kidnapped, and the person who kidnapped him ended up not killing him and keeping the kid and raising him as his own. Uh, raising him as his own, scratch as his own, and just raising him, and at first used him for help, and then taught him everything he knew, how to properly, cut and dice and slice a human body and keep it so that you can, whatever. And so it turns out that the kidnapper, the original killer from a long time ago that kidnapped the kid, finally died a year ago. And so this kid now 35 who's only known this life of murder and secrecy and all that kind of stuff, and a caged life basically, has finally been out for a while and was so lost about what to do, and of course couldn't help but kill. And then after his first kill, got the hang of it, understood like why the other guy enjoyed it so much, and then also became and then but then also felt lonely because this other man, his kidnapper, was the only thing that he knew his whole life, and the company was missing. And so he decided to reconnect with his family, but he always thought like, I can't just show up at home and tell them, and tell them it's me, especially now that I've killed somebody. So what I'll do instead is I'll make them proud. I'll show them that I've become really good at this one thing. And of course, throughout the story, you would have to show like the police mentioning, or forensics or whatever, like how amazing. I don't know if you can hear that. How amazing this work is. The cutting and the preserving and all that kind of stuff. That's my cat. One of them. How amazing his work is, and the cut and the smooth and all of that creepy stuff. Of course, so like that's why in his head, because you have to present it from his head as well. He wouldn't be thinking like, I don't know. I want to say you and I, even though I probably don't know you, listening. Um, he probably wouldn't think like us. He would see the world in such a specific way that to him it's like, no, I want to reconnect. I want to feel that connection, that bond again. Um, and I want to make them proud. I want to show them that like I did something of myself that's super impressive. And of course, the family does not understand what's impressive about that. The police understand. The forensics completely understand why it's impressive. They just don't agree with the work. Um, yeah. So that's what I want to do because I wanted to connect this like cold case from the past a long time ago, with this family who is now finally reconnecting with their son and should be super stoked to see him, and then the very next second, no, first are really scared, and then realize it's him, and then have that like paradox, that dichotomy of like, oh my god, he's him finally. We've been looking for him for so long. We were hoping he was alive, and then oh my god, no, he's not he's not somebody that we're gonna see or hang out with or create a strong bond with anymore, because we know we have to give him away, kind of thing. Yeah, I had that idea in mind. I do have another idea in mind for a crime thriller type thing. Um, I guess it's next time, right? Because this is done. We've got two. We've got two. It's very creepy. A rom com and then a crime thriller. Writers' minds. That was fun though. I enjoyed it. It flowed. I can tell that if I were to sit down to start to describe or define a little bit more of the plots that I'd like really enjoyed, and there's this twist and then this reveal, and how do you do that? It sounds fun. I wouldn't do it though. I've got other things I'm working on. But anyway, thank you for listening. I will go work on the log lines now to see if I can come up with something. They're probably going to be long since there's such a big story. Anyway, I'll figure it out, and then you will have them soon. I'll see you guys next time. The Love Ingredient, Rom-Com. After discovering her grandfather's unfinished cookbook, the head of a publishing company recruits a chef reconnecting with his cultural roots to help complete it. But their growing romance is tested when they clash over whether to honor the family's culinary traditions or reshape them for commercial success. Would you watch or pass? Put it in the comments. Returned Contact. Thriller, crime. Human remains from a string of connected murders arrive at the home of a family whose son disappeared 35 years ago. As they work alongside investigators, the family uncovers a chilling pattern that links the murders to the truth of what really happened to their missing child. Would you watch or pass? Put it in the comments.